Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is a Muslim message to the world, part 2. In the last video, I was going through my personal beliefs as an Englishman, as a Londoner, making my demands to be treated equally under this fallacy I believe, but you seem to take it to truth. I made the demands that I don't want any of my people to be oppressed in this country and that we give given equal rights, that we have equity in the society. Many of your comments I found quite surprising, though I did give the benefit of the doubt to the people out there. I was told I should condemn terrorism, I should start talking about the problems out there and how somehow it's my responsibility and everything. Well, I'll tell you this, I am going to condemn terrorism this very second right in front of you, and you will bear witness to this right now. I condemn the terrorism of the neo-colonization of Iraq, the invasion of Afghanistan, the oppression of Palestine, the occupation of Kashmir, the massacre of Chechnya, and even the recent spiteful butchery of Lebanon. I condemn terrorism, the killing for political and economic interest. This is the terrorism I'm talking about. You say we spread everything by the sword. You're spreading your ideology by the bullet. The dictionary definition of terrorism is a state that runs its affairs by putting terror in the people. I'm a strong believer in that the people should not be afraid of their government, but the government should be afraid of their people. The government uses fear and intimidation to make the people comply to their own affairs and their own foreign policy issues.
And danger.
Continuing danger.
Hour of danger.
Very, very dangerous world.
A grave new threat.
Horrific acts of atrocities.
Murderous regimes.
Dedicating to killing us.
Tyranny and terror.
Slaughtered thousands.
Weapons of mass destruction.
Weapons of mass destruction.
Weapons programs.
The deadliest of weapons.
Terrible weapons. Nuclear weapons.
Nuclear weapons.
Poison gas.
Torture chambers. Mass graves.
Deadly technologies.
Radical ideology of hate.
Terror threats.
Terror.
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 War on terrorism.
War against terrorism.
Global terrorism.
And this all goes back to your ideology, the ideology of greed, of capitalism. And it does nothing with morality and does nothing but to feed its own hunger. And it can never be filled. And it has to go and spread this by intimidation and fear. And this is the terrorism I'm talking about. The fact that no one buys it anymore, and the only way you can get people to go with it is to actually put fear in them. Forget terrorists putting fear into the hearts of the enemy. I'm talking about a government that puts fear in everyone if they don't comply to what they want. It has the world in a hostage situation. They're going to do anything in their power to remind you out there why you need them.
The American people need to know we're working together to win this war on terror. Our most important responsibility is to protect the American people.
And you get scared, and we can't blame you, because really there's all these bad things out there and you just want security, you want to get on with your life. And they put this out there and you put all your security and all your humbleness into them to sort your problems out. But little do you realize they are the cause of your problems. But you're just too shallow to see beyond this because you are in a state of fear because they rule by terrorism. And as we know, when fear increases, your rationality decreases. And with the decrease of rationality, with the falling of thinking, you would now follow anyone for just temporary security. And before you know it, you'll wake up in a dictatorship. Terrorists are true believers in democracy because they actually believe that you out there are actually have the say in how your government runs. So they believe that you are personally responsible. But we know this is a very silly idea because we know none of you actually have a say anyways. We actually, that all of you try and do things, but just to get ignored. They may appease you sometimes. They may give you a little treat every now and again. But really, you don't have the final say. And you still believe it. That's why these terrorists do hold you responsible. Because apparently, your freedom of speech is meant to be holding you to account. You're meant to be running the show here, all of you. But yet you're telling me that, oh, you know, it's not us, it's the government. Make up your mind. You're either going to admit to me democracy and its freedom of speech is a fallacy, or you're going to admit that, yes, that it's our fault because it's our say. Well, what is it? Is it a democracy, or is it the blatant hypocrisy?
I think the history of the United States as a work in progress and our attempt at democracy here is a constant struggle between capitalism and democracy. And there have been ebbs and flows where democracy looks like it's winning. You rein in those powerful forces. But the fundamental reality is that most of the government's decisions today are substantially dictated by powerful corporate interests. Clearly, capitalism is winning.
على وضعها هذا وتصرفاتها هذه أمريكا تفشل وتفشل من الدول نهائيا وتصعد غير دول مكان أمريكا. وأني مو سياسي لكن تحليلي كرجل عادي هذا أمريكا تخسر لأن تصرفات أمريكا مو تصرفات مال دولة كبرى.